The Flawed Environmental Case Against Data Centers. That's the headline of a guest essay published in the New York Times by Adam Mastriani, an experimental psychologist who also writes the science blog Experimental History. In the piece, Mastriani takes a close look at the rising wave of local opposition to artificial intelligence data centers, opposition that is frequently framed as environmental protection but that he argues rests on shaky evidence. Across the United States, more than a dozen AI data center projects have been stalled or blocked by zoning boards and community groups. Just last week, New York Governor Kathy Hochul signed an executive order that puts a one-year hold on construction of the state's largest data centers, marking the first statewide moratorium of its kind. A March Gallup poll found that 71% of American adults say they oppose building AI data centers in their own areas, and when asked why, the most common answer was concern for the environment. Mastriani says he understands the instinct. Many people feel that AI is being forced on them by a tiny group of tech billionaires, in ways that feel invisible and impossible to push back against. Data centers, by contrast, are concrete buildings that fall under local zoning authority. So the anxiety and anger about AI naturally get channeled into fights over the physical sites that house the servers. Ordinary citizens can't tell Sam Altman what to do, but they can keep his servers out of their neighborhoods. The essay does not argue that data centers should be exempt from environmental review. They should be held to the same standards as any other large development. But Mastriani points to research by Andy Masley that puts the climate impact of AI usage in perspective. According to Masley, giving up a lifetime of interacting with large language models would make a negligible difference in emissions compared with avoiding a single transatlantic flight or switching to a hybrid car. By his estimate, sending one prompt to ChatGPT releases about as much carbon as running a clothes dryer for a single second. Water use gets a similar reality check. The United States has roughly 14,000 golf courses, which together consumed nearly 550 billion gallons of water in 2020. The Environmental Protection Agency estimates that Americans pour more than 3 trillion gallons onto lawns and gardens each year for landscape irrigation. No one knows the exact total water consumption of all data centers, but Brian Potter at the Institute for Progress estimates it at about 100 billion gallons in 2023. Even if the number of data centers grew tenfold, the total would still fall short of what we spend keeping grass green. Mastriani's broader point is that everyone deserves a say in the future of AI, but that say doesn't have to come through NIMBYism and questionable environmental arguments. He warns that if one community succeeds in pushing data centers away, another community, likely poorer and more desperate, will probably end up hosting them instead. The real debate, he suggests, should be about what role we want AI to play in our lives, not about using zoning battles as a proxy for that conversation. Thanks for listening.